I do remember the game against Bristol City at Ashton Gate back in 2015. It's been 9 years to this month, hasn't it? When Diafra Sakho scored the winner in a 1-0 win in the FA Cup. Just a bit of a personal thing here, actually. In the previous round, Bristol City had faced Doncaster Rovers, my hometown team, and Rovers took it to a replay. I remember I was back visiting from Canada, and we went to go and watch it, my brother and I, and I was rooting for Donny to actually get through, and then they didn't. They lost in the replay, and it was Bristol City versus West Ham instead. Bit good, actually, at the time. But as fate would have it, City and West Ham meet this time in East London, and this weekend is going to be a weekend of FA Cup magic. Loads of tractors, sheep, and haystacks, and people playing banjos driving down, well, shall we say east, rather, to London. And, look, again, like I say, the magic of the FA Cup is back. It's another chance for West Ham to win a trophy. If we take it as seriously as we like to think we would, then we can really have a fighting chance to get through. What I can say about this Bristol City team is that it's gone under a transition. Getting rid of manager Nigel Pearson has proven to be a main positive. At the time of his sacking, the Robins had won 2 in the last 8. And since then, Liam Manning has been appointed as manager. Manning has lost 4 league games only. And he's certainly got the best out of players such as Conway, Viner as well. And he's also bringing a lot more stylish football to City. It's a mid-table team right now, and it hadn't started the season so badly, it would have been a lot higher up. Over the summer, they signed players such as Jason Knight from Derby County, Hayden Robertson, Brighton and Hove Albion, Rob Dickey from QPR, a name that was quite familiar within the Championship amongst London clubs as well. Those players give them a little bit more of a boost, and honestly, I think that Bristol City's got some very decent players. Some memorable and notable names on this. Narky Wells, people remember how he was at Huddersfield Town. He was an unreal goal machine for them. Not so much these days. Andy King, a Welsh international who used to play for Leicester City. Matty James, I think he used to play for Leicester as well, didn't he? Andy Weimann, an Austrian attacking midfielder who used to play for Aston Villa. He's in there. Oh, they have a Canadian in here as well. They have a Canadian player. And, from Montreal. Nice. Damn, they got a Canadian. Okay, right. My adopted country man is in Bristol City squad. That's awesome. Didn't even realise. With this FA Cup game, I expect us to play a similar team to how the Europa League team is. And that's still quite a strong team on paper. So Fabianski would have to start in goal for an example. But I'd even give Ben Johnson more of a chance now. Played well in the game against Brighton, didn't he? And I think give him a little bit of a run and see how he fares. Mabama Marshall should get some game time. Maybe Lewis Orford as well should be called up, put on the sub-bench at the very least. As for Bristol City, I can see him going out with one of the strongest teams because they're going to want to punch above the weight and they're going to want it more. It's just how it is. The lower you are, and when you're playing a higher-end opposition, particularly one from the Premier League, you as a team are going to want that more. You're going to want that giant killing, aren't you? I do know Bristol City have had a few West Ham connections. Sam Baldock played for both clubs. In fact, West Ham sold him to Bristol City in 2012. That's just one example. I know a lot of West Ham players actually went to play in the West Country as well. Some played for Bristol Rovers. Some played for Yeovil, which isn't too far from Bristol. So we have that connection from moving from the big city to farmland and drinking cider. Well, Bristol City fans can, hopefully it'll be welcomed in the Carpenter's Arms, just necking apple cider all the time and listening to the Wurzels. Oh, you got a brand new combine harvester. I actually had that stuck in my head the other week. I don't know if it was because of this game, but anyway. Look, let's take this seriously, get the job done, beat Bristol City. That is it. Don't let me down, West Ham. Don't mug yourselves. That's all. To quote the streets.